FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's 7/15/19. Half the month is over. Gold has been on a tear. Try as they might to try to suppress it. If you believe in such things, to suppress the price, to bring it down, it's still trading at $14.12 right now. Silver up 13 cents the ounce, $15.32 on the bid. Well, hey, if you're as into this space as I am, into this business as I am, then there's one place you got to go look for the latest stocks, and that is JuniorMinerJunky.com. That's Miner, M-I-N-E-R, and David Erfle is the proprietor of that site. He's with us now. David, it's great to have you back. These are happy, heady days, aren't they?
Absolutely. Great to be back, Harry. Always great to talk to you. Yeah, it's starting to get fun for us after a lot of frustration and disappointment over the last few years.
Yeah, like what was that one? I can't remember the song Disappointment. It was one of those like Gloria Gaynor songs. Disappointment was my only whatever. But yeah, this has been 6 years filled with disappointment and false starts and frustration if you're into this resource sector, particularly precious metals, and that includes gold. Silver still has not partaken. Many of the juniors are still a bit behind, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned silver. You know, this is normal for silver. You know, that when the secular bull market started in 2001 in gold, silver did not participate until 2003. You know, gold had already gone up a couple $100. You know, gold double bottomed at about right below 250 in 2001, and then silver just did nothing until 2003. However, the silver equities took off with the gold equities and gold, and that's what is happening this time also, is the silver equities, especially some of the juniors that I own and follow, have made nice moves with the gold price here and the gold equities.
Mm-hmm. And silver is creeping up. You know, until we have $20 silver, though, nobody's going to believe in this rally for silver. And silver is always the laggard. But then what happens every time we have one of these bull markets in precious metals, silver comes from behind, triples the performance of gold. And look, I talked with Peter Hugg over at Kitco the other day. He's one of their main analysts. He's thinking that if it stays over 420, it breaks 420, the price of gold, and stays over, then we're going to see 1550 by the end of the year. Or put it this way, he said it wouldn't be outrageous to expect that. That would be a big deal, or a big effing deal, as Joe Biden would say.
Absolutely, yeah. That 1550 level is where it broke down in 2013. So I definitely concur with that. And as far as silver is concerned, we need a monthly close above 1750 for silver to be technically back in a bull market.
Is that our resistance level there?
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Financial Survival Network is brought to you today by Orin Resources, a junior exploration company with the appetite of a major. It's hot on the trail of the next globally significant discovery, creating enormous potential upside for you, the shareholder. Orin is one of the most aggressive exploration companies pursuing high-grade, scalable gold and copper deposits, and has a premier 7-project portfolio, including its 2 flagships, Committee Bay in the Arctic and Sombrero in Peru. Orin's unparalleled technical team and highly experienced management has a history of success in advancing and monetizing exploration assets. No wonder Orin's been called one of the best in the junior exploration sector. Orin trades on the TSX and the NYSE under AUG. To learn more, go to orinresources.com. That's AURYN resources.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Yeah, that's 1750 on a monthly basis close would bring silver technically back in a bull market. For gold, it was 1362, and we not only had a monthly close over 1400 in gold, but we had a quarterly close over 1400, which is extremely bullish.
Yeah, it just doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No.
Yeah. Well, this is getting to be fun.
But like you said, a lot of these juniors are still lagging a bit. But I think that has to do with a few factors. One is this breakout took most everybody by surprise. Fortunately for myself and my subscribers, we were pretty much all in at the end of May, as we expected the breakout to happen. But most of these fund managers and big money traders, they're still off on their vacations. Correct. And this is normally the slow season for gold, but gold loves to do this. Gold loves to take off with the fewest riders on board of its new bull. So this is not surprising, but these traders are not going to get back from their vacations probably till mid to late August. And also, as far as speculation is concerned, a lot of this speculative money has gone elsewhere. We still got risk on in equities, which are continuing to make all-time highs. We've got risk on back in the crypto market. We've got the cannabis sector, which is all this has taken a lot of the speculative money away from the miners, who remain the last deep value play left in the market. So these things are I expect them to begin to take off more once these speculators feel that gold has solidly made a $1,400 floor in the price, because
right.
We've gone up to that 1350, 1375 levels so many times. So you've got a lot of disappointment and a lot of frustration, and they're just leery of this breakout.
Yeah, which is understandable, because it's been going on this way for so many years, and it's always there's always a note of disbelief whenever a bull market starts, and that's where the opportunity arises, because when you've got that bull market by the horns, so to speak, and nobody else is there, there's always a lot of fear that what if it's not happening this time? What if it's wrong? Hey, well, I hear like they're getting desperate in cannabis. They're coming up with CCDOs, collateralized cannabis debt obligations. So if the place collapses, if the company goes out of business, they send you some cannabis.
Yeah, that'd be nice if that happened in the mining sector. If they sent us some gold if they went out of business, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny though. When you look at everything that's going on here, it's madness. It's total madness. But yet somehow the Republic continues and things keep going. But I think at this point, the market is telling us higher highs, higher lows. That's what we were waiting for, and that's the way it's going to be for a while, for sure. It could go on for a couple of years.
The main thing here, Kerry, is gold is now the strongest currency in the world right now. If you look at gold priced in other major currencies, it's doing extremely well, and now finally in the U.S. dollar, it's joined because of the Fed put, and these global central banks continue with their loose monetary policies, and now the largest central bank in the world has joined in. Mm-hmm. So gold is loving this. Negative yields, it doesn't cost anything to hold gold now, and when you see gold being the strongest currency and also the strongest commodity, and it's beginning to break out in the world's reserve currency, that's extremely bullish.
Yeah. With everything else, I think, when you look at the fundamental case, fundamentals only tell you so much. It's really the fundamentals combined with the technicals that enable you to understand what's happening. And we knew that once it broke through that mid 1350 range, and different people had different numbers. I heard as much as 1380, 1363, 1350. But once it broke through there with such authority and then broke 1400, retreated back twice. And now, like you said, close the month, close the quarter over 1400. We got to see a lot of upside potential in the market. So what do you think the players, who's going to profit the most? What stocks? Because, the way it works up in Vancouver, when they see a bull market in precious metals, they're pumping out new shares like daily, whether they're worthy or not.
Right. We've already seen the miners and the royalty plays catch fire here, and this is normal when you have a breakout like this. Is the miners and the royalty plays get most of the bids first, and then it filters down into the smaller juniors. So the value is still left in a lot of these juniors. I'm concentrated in three subsectors in the junior space, and that is growth-oriented producers with a sub $500 million market cap, and developer explorers who are developing high-margin projects that are contained in district-scale land packages, and also early-stage juniors who have the same characteristics as these developer explorers, meaning they've got high margin targets in district scale land packages, and they've got a strong management team, a good share structure, and enough cash to last them for at least a year so they can drill their projects. But when you're focusing on individual juniors, you really have to do your homework. Anybody can go out and buy an ETF and participate in this move and do well. But where the big money is made is in these individual juniors. And if you pick the right ones, you should do very well in the next few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I like the royalties. They seem to have smooth sailing ahead, because certainly for right now, it's still hard for these juniors to raise capital. And in a lot of instances, the royalty plays are the only game in town for getting money to build out your mine or to complete your exploration program, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and there are a few new royalty plays out there that are still undervalued in relation to the bigger royalty plays and streamers. So yes, you still do well with some of these royalty plays. Absolutely.
Yeah, and even before the breakout, they were extremely well poised, but now I think they're even better, even more well poised than they were.
Yeah, when you've had the GDX go up so much now, and it's crossed its Maginot line of 25. 25 was that resistance level for so long, which equated to the resistance level in gold at that 1350, 1375. And now the GDX is attempting to build a floor at 25, as gold is attempting to build a floor above 1375 to 1400. So once this floor is solidified, I wouldn't be surprised to see the GDX run up to its August 2016 high of 31, and then have a decent sized correction from there. But you've got a lot of nervous Nellies out there in this sector who've been in the sector during the bear market, and they still have their bear market hats on, meaning they're still paying close attention to the commitment of traders reports. They see that it's overbought. They think there's going to be a big hit coming, so they're going to try to trade this move. I highly recommend not trying to trade this move. If you're fully invested in your long-term positions, I suggest remaining fully invested unless the gold price has a weekly close below 1350. Then this is a false move. And I don't see that happening with the macro situation right now.
Yeah, I rather doubt it. I don't see it either. It looks like it's smooth sailing ahead with pullbacks, of course. You're always going to have pullbacks in a bull market. We see it in the stock market. Any market that's acting as a market, that's the name of the game. And so really, you think this thing's going to go on for years?
Absolutely. I think this is the beginning of the next impulse move up leg. And, the bigger the base, the bigger the move, Gary. That's market technicians and savvy traders know this. And that's a 5.5 year base is a very strong base for this impulse to move higher very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hey, it's pretty exciting times here for sure. And, we never were sure we were going to live to see it, but here it is. It's actually happening now. And, well, it'd just be a shame to miss out on it. So we got to go for the high quality stocks, the ones that have cash, seasoned management who have had a record of success. Like you said, projects with district wide potential. We know who those companies are.
Absolutely. Yes. I've spent the last few years painstakingly researching a lot of companies and pretty much building my own little mutual fund for myself and my subscribers. I have 25 companies that I'm fully invested in and that I feel are the best juniors to ride during this move. And it's not too late to get into a lot of these things. People see the breakout and they think they've missed it, but there's still a lot of juniors out there that have yet to participate. And like I said, they're going to start to move one by one once the market feels that there's a solid floor at $1,400 gold.
Yeah. Hey, and the fact is it hasn't really moved up that much yet. It's it's 12, 13% in the past month, or since the beginning of the year, rather. It really hasn't performed that stellarly, but from a technical standpoint, and it's done that in the face of a rising stock market and a stable dollar. If the dollar were to go down a couple percent, who knows what could happen?
Right. These central banks are divesting dollars and buying record amounts of gold. The gold breakout pretty much coincided with that ending diagonal breakdown of the dollar, which is a very bearish move for the dollar. So once the dollar gets below 200, its 200-day moving average and stays there, that's only more bullish for the gold sector priced in U.S. dollars.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, hey, we will be checking in with you at regular intervals to get your take on things. And I urge all of you out there listening, go over to JuniorMinerJunky.com. That's Junior, MINER, Junky, JUNKY.com. Check out David's latest picks. Think about subscribing. It's not a lot of money, good value. And hey, any questions, comments, email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz, Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. David, we'll talk to you again real soon. Keep up the good work.
I look forward to it. Great talking to you as always, Kerry.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.